Alright, so it's now 2 days later, I think. No more road trip, by the way, because I just decided to stay and fix this. I think the motor just shit itself. Like, the motor for the power steering, I think it just shit itself. Hi guys, you're down here with me now. On to my evidence as to why I believe the motor in this bad fella right here. This is our steering rack motor, by the way. This is what the whole thing looks like outside the car for reference. I know most cars have liquid, like they have like a hydraulic power steering. A lot of modern cars actually have an electric steering rack, so they have a little electric motor down here that does all of the work that the hydraulic fluid would normally do. But first thing I tested, of course, was the power and ground, like our main power and ground inputs. I get 12 volts in here and 12 volts out here, so that one tested good. We also had a CAN bus line down here, and there's one more wire up here. This bad fella, Jesus, come on, focus. This bad fella right here, which is red, purple, green, and blue wires, that goes over here to the bottom of our steering column. Oh, Jesus, man, the autofocus is terrible. Come on, you got it. You really don't got it, Jesus. There we go. This is the bottom of the steering column. Not sure what these wires do exactly. I looked for them on the wiring diagram, and I couldn't find them anywhere. They weren't labeled under anything that I could find, because it has a whole entire page for the steering system. But these wires are not included, and I'm not really sure where they go. That being said, I did test them for continuity, so they're not broken between here and there, believe it or not. And then this bad fella right here, the CAN bus line, this is what I was really worried about, because this has a computer in it, and it's always the computer shit that breaks, because that's the complicated stuff, and it's always the worst thing that happens, right? So I've done a couple tests on this. With it running, this is key on power, so this isn't on all the time. This one is on all the time, even when the battery's off. This one is not. But with key on, this one has full 12 volts, and then these two right here, our CAN bus lines, have 2.9 and 2.2 volts respectively. Now, before somebody says something, I am well aware that I cannot actually test a CAN bus line with just a multimeter, all right? Like, I can't see the actual waveforms or whatever. I just know that I have some kind of signal coming out of both of these, and one is high, one is low. So that looks normal to what I have the ability to measure. I also checked these for continuity, and they seem fine. And so my next place that I went to was the motor here, and across these two terminals, sorry, let me get you guys in here. This right here is the main power and ground for the motor. And on a healthy electric motor, there should be some variety of resistance between the power and the ground, because that's kind of what actually pushes the motor. That's the work that the motor is doing. And so if there's no resistance between power and ground, it's shorted somewhere, and thus it's not going to work. So me and my brother went on a little bit of a road trip, got a little bit of a road trip in this weekend, and I picked up this. Wait, hold on, my head's in the fucking way. This. I mostly just needed the motor on here, but the dude threw the whole rack and pinion in for $100, so figured I wouldn't be too put out by that. I decided to take a look around on Facebook Marketplace, and there was like one parts Chrysler Pacifica in a vaguely nearby radius 100 miles away, and he had the rack and pinion and the motor, and he said he'd take $100 for it. So I was like, hey, you know what, I can afford to attempt to repair this. So I went and I got it. I didn't expect him to give me the whole rack and pinion, because that's like expensive just coming from the dealership. I really only needed the motor. Now I have a whole rack and pinion for $100. That was pretty cool of him. And he was like, hey, you know, if you ever have any other questions, or like if this doesn't fix it, you can always come talk to me. So like, met a super cool dude who can now help me out with the problems with the thing that I have. But yeah, now I got to put this in here, and that's kind of how I think I'm going to attack this. I know this wheel well is in the way right now, but with this out of the way, you actually get a pretty decent, let me see if I can get you in there. You get a pretty decent shot at the rack and pinion there. I can loosen these all the way around, which those that you're seeing right there, those bolts are these bolts on the outside, this one, this one, this one, and this one over here. And I'm just going to slide this motor down and out the back and slide this new one in, and hopefully that fixes my problem. I don't think I'm going to RTV it the first time, or I'm really not sure if I want to put it together once and then take it apart again to RTV it, or if I'm confident enough in my work to just send it, because like, I could just be wrong, you know what I mean? Like, I could just be wrong, and this is just a big waste of time, and it doesn't work again. But then I also have two of them, so like, you know, I'm gonna take one of them apart. But yeah, the only way to find out if I'm right is to do it and then see if it works. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I did try to watch a tutorial for this. There was like one guy who did something similar here, and he said that he was able to get one of these used because you do not have to program the little steering control module inside of this. Because unfortunately, a lot of the things in this car don't like it if they don't know their neighbor. So if you throw a new transmission in this thing, get a load of this guy. If you throw a new transmission in this thing and you don't tell the ECU the VIN number of the new transmission, it'll be very upset and not work. But apparently this doesn't do that. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it in. First thing I gotta do, get this tire off, then wheel well, then there's like a heat shield in here. And then after the heat shield, I think it's just the screws, we pop it out the back and throw it back in. Actually, I lied. This has to come off of here first. I need to take this one off in the first place. And that'll kind of give me some perspective as to like what I'm looking at actually taking this out of the rack and pinion. Because I think it's just like a sun gear in there. I think it's just like one spline socket that comes out of the motor. But I don't know if there's any like intermediate gears or anything that just kind of sit in there and they're gonna fall out when I take it apart. I think I'm gonna need a mallet though. Oh, there we go. Okay, it opened up. Nice. Here. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look at this here. Oh no. This is gonna suck. Okay, you see how this has a spline on it? So you would think that it probably goes into a gear and turns another gear, right? Wrong. There's a little belt in here. You clearly weren't clued in onto Chrysler's infinite wisdom. What the fuck is this? Alright, so I carefully felt around in the hole. I didn't feel anything that felt like it was supposed to go in here and then fell out. I think the main pain in the ass of this is going to be getting that belt back on. I don't even know how I'm going to know if that's hooked. Shit. But in the meantime, while I worry about how I'm actually going to attach that, I'm going to go ahead and clean out these ports on here. Go ahead and clean out these because they've been sitting a while, and clean all the rest of the RTV off the front of this so it's nice and shiny when it goes in, and hopefully it being shiny will make it work. That would be great. There we go. Okay, nice and clean. Just give this one more spray. Now we're on to the removal here. First gotta go off is the tire. Okay, this is straw 3 with the Timu impact gun. It's kind of been striking out on this project. To be fair, I did put it up against the immovable bolt under here, but it did not want to move these lug nuts a while ago. I charged the battery more. It's not charged all the way, but we'll see if it works. It's mostly just loud though. I stand corrected. It didn't like me talking shit. It's the batteries. It's the batteries. That's what it is. Because these batteries, my car is hot, and so they sit in there all day. I gotta get a storage unit. That's what I'm doing after this video. I'm getting a storage unit. These bad fellas, they sit in there and they get hot all day, and then like all of the electricity goes away, all the charge dies. But overall, that thing actually works pretty decent for most stuff. Oop, come on. Oh, I probably should have turned the wheel straight. Yeah, let me turn the wheel back straight. Alright, up next is the wheel well here. Unfortunately, this is Chrysler, so this thing goes around the entirety of the wheel well. Actually, I should check what size this is. Yep, that's right. I think all of these are 8s too. Honestly, I could probably get away with just taking off this side. Oh. Never mind. It's like a drywall anchor. Sorry, I was confused because this thing right here, I was looking at it, and it was just all, oh, come on. It was just squished all the way down. I'm like, dude, how do you take that out? But it's like, you just squish it, and then it's flat, and this comes right up. So, I should be able to just, come on. Or not. It's Chrysler. It's always fucking difficult, lemon difficult. Now, I'm gonna put the camera back on the thing. There we go. Okay, staring down into the hole here. Battery too low to use flash. I will kill myself. Okay, right here. If you look in there, you can get actually a pretty good view of all of our screws. I'm gonna take off this heat shield on top of it first. It has one screw. Where is it? It's like up here and a little bit to the left. Let me flip you guys over. There's one screw on this right there. Damn, I wish I had a laser pointer right there. Then I will be able to either bend or move this out of the way, which will make getting at the rest of this a lot easier. All right, so, whoa, Jesus. So now we've gotten this detached, meaning that we can properly fiddle around over here. Oh, well, that's not moving as much as I had hoped it would, but that's fine. This shit's gotta come out either way. That's fine, because it's still visible there. That one up in the corner is the only one that I really need to get to from out here. The rest of them I can kind of get from inside. There's one bracket that we have to take out, and then that's it. Then we're on to this. All right, so as you can obviously see, the motor is right here and there's a bracket right here. This bracket is a problem. It has one screw on this side right there, and then it has another on the other side that I'm gonna kind of try and get to without taking this motor mount back off, because that would be a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna kind of reach my hand through here. We have to take both of those off, and then these screws on the front of this, here, and there's one more on top, and then one way in the back there. That's the one we're gonna try and get from the wheel well. Whoa, Jesus, come on, buddy. Focus. There we go. It's like having a child with ADHD. We're gonna take this off, then we'll take those off, and then we can pop the motor out. For the front one, since I figured that might be kind of tricky, and you guys, like, I mean, if for some fucking reason you're ever doing this, you might want to know. For that front bracket bolt, this space in here is big enough to literally just shove a ratchet in there. And I've just got my arm up in here, and that has plenty of space to move back and forth. This one on the front, I'm not worried about. This should be self-explanatory. There's plenty of room in here. Okay, there's that. Onto these screws in the front. Also, I am just gonna unplug the battery up here real quick so that maybe the ECU just doesn't notice that I've changed out a part underneath and it won't be upset about it. All right, so I can't quite get you guys, you know, up in here to see the front of this, but I figured I could at least bring you down to kind of watch what I'm doing, if that would be at all helpful to you in the future. Because I know that's always something that's helpful for me is like, I already cracked this one, but like I know that's something that's always helpful to me is just seeing like how people position stuff in order to get it in there. And that's gonna kind of be what this is trying to figure out how I can get tools in here to properly fiddle around with this stuff. Honestly, I think this one on top is gonna be probably the worst. That one's probably, I'm honestly not entirely sure how I'm gonna get that yet. We'll deal with that when we come to it, and we'll figure it out. It'll be fine, because not only do I have to take it out, I have to put it back in. Maybe I should use a 1/4-inch ratchet, you say, not knowing that I subscribe to the almighty 3/8 ratchet in every situation. Chrysler hates me. Do you see that? You see this bullshit? Are you seeing this stupid fucking bolt right here? This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Here we go. Okay, got my little tiny ratchet. We'll see if I can squeeze this bad fella in here. There we go, got it. Sorry about that, my phone died, but I figured you guys would want to see this part. I got the other two screws out. This one way on the end over here, on like the where you'd think it would be difficult, this one was actually pretty easy. I just got this one with a really long extension. The one that's kind of up on top, that one was actually kind of a pain in the ass. That one I had to kind of use an extension monster. I got it from out here in the wheel well, but it is totally doable. Alright, my camera's probably got about 30 seconds of juice left, but I figured you guys would want to see this part because I got all the screws out, so now we're going to go ahead and crack this bad fella open and hopefully get this off of here. Sorry, my Samsung account policy updated and it shut my camera off. Alright, you guys are going to kind of have to move out the way because I can't properly hit it like this. Good news, everyone! The motor's been detached. That is no longer on the thing inside of here. It does feel like our belt thingy is intact, so that's also very exciting because I was worried that that's maybe what was broken. I don't know. Now I'm just going to clean up this mating surface here, put some RTV on our new motor, and slap that bad boy back in there so we can see if our repair worked. So yeah, that's what we're up to next. Oh yeah, also my headlamp died, so now I got a shop light facing the wrong direction. Those are all on all of the pieces that I'm working on. Yeah, it's great. I love batteries. Those are my favorite thing ever. Alrighty, we got that about as clean as it's gonna get. I just used a little razor blade here. There's no grooves in the outside part. There's grooves in the motor. Oh, this is the broken one. The working one's out there somewhere. There's grooves in the front part of the motor that the RTV kind of goes down into, but there's none on the actual machined part here. Now, all I got to do is RTV the new motor and throw that bad fella back in there. With the belt being on there, that makes me think that it's kind of got a... The belt's going to slip if the motor goes all the way to one side, so I think that... I don't think that it's actually counting the teeth as far as where the motor is. Like, I think it has some other way of telling how far over the rack and pinion is outside of the motor. Either that or the belt will slip on that when it gets to the end, and it will kind of keep going until it fixes the error. And then it'll be right. So at least that's what I think is going to happen. Either that or it's going to snap and explode and make things worse. Now we are going to RTV the new one, the new motor. The RTV on this was white. I only have black RTV, so we're going to put some on and hope that it's fine. It's currently dry because I was using it for the backpack project, which clearly is not done yet, which means that I have a whole bunch of RTV left. And, oh, that might not have done it. That might not have done it. Might be getting nothing out of this too. Fuck, bro. Okay, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're just going to take the top off and then glob some on here and kind of smear it around with the old handjamin. Honestly, let's see if I can get... Whoa! That was farting at me. Stop that. It's gonna work. No. I'm just gonna set that right there, set this right here. We're just gonna kind of send it with the tube, with the open tube here. Okay, let me grab a napkin, then I'm gonna spread this around, and then we're gonna throw it on. Make sure that it is sufficiently gooped on and evenly spread. Sweet. That looks sufficiently RTV'd. Let's go throw this bad fella back on the car. Alright, well, let's go throw this new fella onto the car for the first time. Once again, we have 15% on the battery for the phone, and this little headlamp is on yellow, but this is about as good as we're gonna get. Hopefully I nail this first try. This has to go on the little belt on the inside. And as soon as I get this in, I gotta get a screw in so I can mash down this RTV. That feels like it's in the belt. Let me just slide it in here. Give me a screw. Boom. Like that. Oh, I should have cleaned out these holes first. That was a mistake. Oh, and my ratchet is all the way over here. Fuck, that was a mistake. Ugh. Oh, and I don't have any of my extensions or shit on. Fuck, that was a mistake. Oh, and I'm way too far up on this creeper. That was a mistake. So many mistakes all in one go. I'm really good at that. It's one. I won't fall off. Two. Make sure it stays down. Come on, grab, you bastard. Where are you? There it is. Is that it? Nope. That's not it. Doesn't feel right. Okay, is that right? That feels better. Yeah, that feels right. Alright, well, this isn't going to behave until I put one in on the other side as well. So I'm going to put this outside one in. And then that top one's going in last because that was a pain in the ass and I don't feel like doing that yet. Sorry, you can't see me, but I'm going around the back here. Please just start correctly. Got it in there. Thread it for me. Could you please? Oh, that felt like it. There we go. The one on the back is not just in, but that feels like thoroughly in. So we're gonna get that one tightened down all the way. And then we'll do this middle top one, then the bottom one, and then this one. I know I should probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't. Fuck that. That screw on the top was a pain in the ass. Oh, I can get this one kind of from the outside. This one's better got from the inside, in my humble opinion. As your friendly neighborhood Chrysler technician, I really hope this works. Otherwise, this was a lot of pain in the ass for nothing. That's what life is, right? Is a bunch of pain in the ass for nothing. And then we all die. Oop. So let me just do this by hand. Oof, no. I don't want to sit here and do it by ratchet though, because that's also going to be a pain in the ass. This take fucking forever. Where's my little tiny ratchet? Come over here. Righty tighty, please. Alright, that's 2. Alright, and then 3 and 4 we tighten down from outside, so come with me. Yeah, this is kind of hard to see into. And honestly, you're probably not going to be able to see past me while I'm doing this. This part's just hard to see. But I'm just going to be getting that one right there, and then there's like one more up in there that I'm going to get. I'm going to do those 2 real quick. Again, just extension monster it if you're trying to do, like, me showing you this is not going to help you do it, if that makes sense. You just got to kind of cobble together extensions until you find something that fits and you can turn. I did it, which means that you can too, so it is possible. So I got those 2 screws back. This is all screwed in, and now we just got to plug in our connectors here, starting with a little 4-pin over here, a sensor. Number 1. Then we're going to do the CAN bus here. Plug that one in the top here. Oh, come on. This one does not like cooperating. Does everything feel... Probably should have looked directly at the pins before I put it on, but they all looked fine. I didn't see anything abnormal. Well, now is an inconvenient time for this to not go on. Okay, I'm sitting you guys up in here as my investigators. What's happening back there? Okay. Those look fine, just from here. You know, there's 3 on there. 3-pronged. 3-pronged. Wait a minute. Yep, that looks about the same. Yeah, those look about the same. Why is this not going in? What's happening? There we go. Okay, well, that one's on. Hopefully that works. And then big connector, big boy. Feels like that's on. All of those are on there. This is all secured in. I took some stuff off of the top end when I was messing with the wires. I am aware the shielding on this is important so it doesn't corrode and stuff like that. I'll put it back as soon as I'm sure that this all works, which hopefully it does, you know, fingers crossed here. Shut up, I know it's a weird camera angle. It was the only place I could think to sit the camera, and it's probably gonna fall over because it's perched precariously on some wires right now. Alright, cool. I think we're all good to start here. I'm waiting to plug this in so I don't turn the computer back on yet. I'm just going to double check that everything is plugged in and or put away, and then we can go ahead and start it. Now for the moment of truth here, we are going to plug it in and turn it on and see if it freaks out or not. If it does, mission failed, boys. We've just done a whole bunch of work for nothing, but if it doesn't, that would be pretty cool. Gotta drive it to work tomorrow either way, so hopefully it works. That would be cool. Immediately, I think I might have fucked something up. And now says service park brake. That's probably not great. But it doesn't say service the power steering rack right now, because I haven't turned it on yet. Come on. Oh, and the service park brake went away. That's good. Okay. I don't see anything so far. The message has not come back so far. So I'm gonna get the wheel on. We're gonna give it a spin around the block and see if it stays fixed. All right, guys, we are going to take it for a test drive and see if it kills itself. We're gonna do some turns here. See if it, okay, yes, driver seatbelt unbuckled. Thank you very much. Oh, it really likes going to the right. It really likes going to the right, not as much going to the left. Okay, so I think what might be going on is the rack and pinion I took this one out of, it might have been farther to the right when I took it out, and so it thinks that it's farther right or farther left. There's probably some way to reset this. Alright, I would consider that a success. It does like to turn right a lot more than it likes to turn left, but it does both of those things, and the power steering works for both of those things, so I'm not going to complain. I am going to look into maybe if there's some kind of like power steering relearn or something like that. I feel like that motor should be able to just turn continuously and not have a problem, and I feel like you can just tell it to not do that, so I'll look into that. There was no road trip in this video. I know that's what this video was supposed to be about. That did not happen. I mean, there was like a mini road trip when we went to go and get the rack and pinion, but that was about it. But I think this turned out to be an interesting weekend nonetheless. Not what I expected to be doing for 4th of July, but you know, c'est la vie, right? What's up, guys? It is like 2 weeks after I shot that original video. I just wanted to go over some of my like key takeaways from this experience in retrospect. The biggest one being that, like, sometimes it is just the simple stuff. Because part of the reason that took me so long is because I immediately just went to the worst case scenario, which was the CAN bus line and all of the wiring. And to be fair, I do think I had reason to think that because I was kind of shaking the motor around and I thought maybe I had pulled the wire loose or something like that. But really, I should have just tested that the hardware worked. Like, I should have just tested the motor first. Another big part of this was that I can, in fact, fix stuff. Most of the time, I'm used to kind of stuff, everything I touch breaking, which is still kind of the rule, generally speaking. But I took a thing apart, and I put it back together, and I figured out what was wrong, and my diagnosis was correct. I correctly diagnosed a thing. It doesn't work perfectly, but it does work, and that's what matters. And I know why it doesn't work exactly the way it's supposed to, which means that I can fix it in the future. But anyways, thank you for sitting with me through my ordeal. Hopefully, this stays fixed. Hopefully. And I guess I'll be looking into doing more car stuff in the future since you guys seem to like that, considering that was what my page was all about anyway before I stopped posting things. Look forward to that in the future. If you liked the video, always remember, please like, comment, subscribe, send it to all your friends, tell everybody how great it was, watch it 5 times, put it on replay in the background, type shit, subscribe, share it to everybody, go check me out on all the other platforms, etc., etc. And I will be back with something else at some point. Bye!